Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews. Before we dive in, if you find today's video of any help to you at all, don't forget to return the favour and help me by hitting that subscribe button. So let's move on. Today, I'm going to take a look at something that I'm very excited to look at, because it does something that you all know I love: marry the old and the new. So today we're going to take a look at this, the NYSW. To tell you the truth, I've been waiting for a smartwatch that can truly marry the class and elegance of standard wristwear with the modern socially connected world that we live in. And I've been, at best, agreeable with the attempts manufacturers have been making at doing this so far. So the question is, does this smart wristwear by New York Standard Watch challenge my perception of hybrid smartwatches? It has a 43mm hand-polished stainless steel case with all of your standard trimmings of a normal watch: a crown, 2 chronograph style buttons, a leather strap, rose gold colour dials, and a sapphire crystal face. Its waterproof rating of 5 ATM makes it a formidable accessory to wear on your wrist in all weather. Internally, it uses NYSW's own precision analog smartwatch movement and can go for nearly a month on a single charge. I can understand if you're thinking that this is just a regular old watch, but if you did, you'd be terribly, terribly mistaken. Behind its classic exterior lies some extremely incredible technology, almost like a relic of a Victorian steampunk future that never came to be. The first dial updates throughout the day with your step count, as does the second dial, but the third dial is really where the magic is at. When your phone gets a notification, your watch will vibrate, and this dial spins automatically to the icon representing the app the notification came from. All the staple apps are there: texts, calls, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to name just a few. And if there isn't an icon for the app the notification is from, it'll revert to N for just simply notification. This really sets the watch apart from everything I've tried so far and really gets me super excited to test it. Let's see if it meets the expectations that this incredible appearance has already set. Now let's just immediately address the fact that this is possibly one of the nicest looking hybrid smartwatches I have ever had the fortune of testing. It really is a beautiful looking device. Yes, you could criticise that it is quite thick and quite big, so this particular model might not be for you, but it comes in a bunch of other styles and other shapes and other colours as well. This one is the Soho, and I believe they've got something called the Manhattan and the Times Square, I think. They're the 3 ranges that they do, and they do a bunch of different colour options in it as well. This particular one is silver and rose gold, just because I thought it looked the classiest, but everyone's got their own taste. If it was up to me, I'd probably have like a gold casing or something, but they don't really seem to do many gold cases in the Soho or Manhattan range, which are the slightly larger style, which I prefer because I've always liked quite big watches, and I don't think it looks too big on me in all fairness. I mean, I am 6'8", so I am medically a giant, therefore I need a big watch and I can kind of pull it off. It's not too bad. But back to the point, it is a beautiful, beautiful design. It really, truly is. And it's got loads of stuff on it that makes it super, super special. And this is where we get onto the functionality of the watch. Now, before we dive into the app, which I'll look at in a bit, I actually want to look at the functionality of the face first. Now, normally on hybrid smartwatches, you'll usually have mostly a mechanical dial that does nothing and just shows you maybe steps, like the Withings. The Withings has a mechanical dial that shows you the time, and it also has a step counter on there that shows you how many steps you've done. Well, the NYSW, as I showed you a minute ago, has something super special. So let's dive into that and have a quick look at it in more detail. Let's focus specifically on this dial at the very, very top here. As I said, the other dials here, they do steps. You've got steps in hundreds and steps in thousands. So there's two dials to show you the steps, which is a bit needless if you ask me, but well, that's the way it is. These two buttons as well do a few different things. First of all, if I press the top one here, you'll notice nothing happens at all. If I press the bottom one, you'll notice it shows me how much battery is left. At the moment it's on high, so it's marked as high, medium, low, and needs charging. And also you'll notice if I press it one more time, see that spin round? That shows how many calories I've burned today as well. So overall the buttons are pretty good. This one here, I can't remember what it does. What did it do? It turns it off. As in, turns off the connection between the phone and this. Apologies. So that is a bit of a waste of button. Obviously, I couldn't remember what that did because I've not used it very much at all. So really, that one could be programmed to something else. I know another company, Chronobee, uses their buttons with IFTTT, which means that you can program them to do different things, such as post a status on Facebook or boil a kettle or turn the lights on. NYSW, that one's a bit of a wasted button, so maybe if you're watching this you could implement additional function for this button. Anyway, back to this dial here. Now I've got another phone next to me. I'm going to send myself a text and you'll see what happens. I've just sent the text and we'll see how long it takes to come through. So it's come through on the phone and there we go, it's vibrated and it's showing SMS. So that's automatically gone. Now, if I send myself an email, let's send that now. So I've just sent that and we'll see if it comes through on my phone. Has it come through on my phone? Nothing yet. It's come through on my phone and now it's come through on the watch. So you see it jump to E to show email. So this dial is cool as anything. Really, it is one of the best features about this watch and I love this dial. Truly, everyone I've shown has gone, wow, that's really quite cool. And there we go. That dial alone, to me, makes this watch stand out completely from most things that I've tried so far. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only one that can do that, but to be honest, I don't think I've found one that can do that. Hold on, let me have a quick look online, see if I can find one that has something similar. So I've just searched the word hybrid smartwatch in Google and you'll see here that they're all, like I said, they've got a singular mechanical dial. Some of them, like this one here, the Garmin one, has like a little display underneath it, which is quite nice. But it's not mechanical, and I like mechanics and I like it to look really cool. You know, if I want to wear a watch like this, you know, like a dinner style watch, I don't want a great big display on it like a normal smartwatch, because otherwise I'd just wear something like the Amazfit Bip. So I want something specific in a hybrid smartwatch, and that is purely just mechanical. And it looks to me, as far as I can tell, this is the only one that actually notifies you via a mechanical dial. In such a way as to show you different icons anyway. Because I think there's the Chronobee. Now the Chronobee I think points to different hours depending on what type of notification that you get. But again, that doesn't have a label in there. So it's close, but it's not quite as good as this. And I think we'll call that there. So like I said, I don't think there is another watch or hybrid smartwatch that mechanically shows you notifications. If there is, and you know of one, leave a comment in the description below because I would love to check it out. But I'd be surprised if you can find one. Now, as with any smartwatch, I believe that they are only as good as the app that it joins to. So, let's have a look at the app. So the app we use specifically is called the NYSW app. Now let's pop in, and the first thing that you notice, or that I noticed anyway, is it's not very attractive. I think it looks a little bit dated, which is a bit of a shame because the watch doesn't, well, it does look dated if you sort of think about technology, but actually it is a classic timepiece that I think is timeless. It's a design that has been around for hundreds of years. This, however, is just a bit dated. It looks like a design from the sort of early 1900s that's been done on Microsoft Publisher or something horrible. And it doesn't get any better either. If we tap on things like this here at the bottom, this is the settings section. As you can tell, it's still not very nice. Now, this bit, the haptic bit, is quite interesting. I found that this watch didn't seem to have a do not disturb function. So it was vibrating constantly from midnight through to midnight. So it doesn't matter what time of day, it was vibrating for notifications. Now, quite often smartwatches have a do not disturb function. I couldn't find it in the app. I could not find a do not disturb function. So I emailed the company and they said that the way you turn off notification vibrating is by manually going in here and literally choosing to edit this and then turning off all of these one by one, which is ridiculous. So my feedback for you, NYSW, is if you're watching this video, please implement a really quick way of turning off vibrating, because I don't want this vibrating at 3 in the morning if I've decided to leave it on. But even then, even if I've taken it off, I have it on the bedside table, and if this goes vibrating in the middle of the night, I'm going to wake up, because I sleep terribly. The slightest drop of a feather or movement in the air, I wake up. And having a watch vibrate on your bedstand every 2.5 minutes when I get some sort of message from my commenters on YouTube is not conducive for a good night's sleep. So please sort that out. Anyway, moving back to this. The other bits in this app aren't that impressive. Again, you can go to your history by tapping on your steps and seeing instant data, month, year. What's going on? There we are. As you can see, I wore it a lot in March. Haven't worn it so much this month because I've been testing some of the bits out. But this gives you a bit of history to show you how you're doing. Can I go back a month? There we go. So overall, it works. One thing I will say is that the connectivity between the two is very good. Some smartwatches I've tried are pretty poor and lose connectivity every 2.5 seconds. This seems to stay connected all of the time. And the watch automatically updates with the phone. So when daylight saving time came about, or British summertime, whatever it is we have nowadays, when that came about, this automatically changed by itself. I didn't have to bother buggering about with the dials, which was really nice. I liked that. Nice little touch. But that is the app. Overall, a little bit of a disappointment. Before I talk about the price, there's a couple of other little pointers I want to discuss about this particular watch. First of all is the battery life. Battery life is superb. It really, really is. I think it must have been about 2-3 weeks before I had to charge it again. So that was pretty good. I'm very, very impressed with the battery life. And the best thing about it is that the charging time is very quick as well. I only had it on for about an hour the other day and it was fully charged. So battery life, they seem to have done a very big job. But then again, you'd expect it for the thickness that is. Potentially they'd be able to make it a tad smaller if the battery is a bit smaller and maybe only lasted a week. But to be honest, if I'm wearing something like this, I don't want to have to worry about changing the battery or charging the battery every 2 days, like other smartwatch brands. So the battery life is good. But another thing which I didn't touch on a second ago about the app or the connectivity between the phone, I use an iPhone, okay? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have much of an integration with Apple Health, which is a bit sad. Works with its own app, fine, but no integration with Apple Health means that I can't share my stats with other apps. So again, another thing that they could update. So let's move on to the price before I talk about my final points on the NYSW. The price of this one is, hold on, the price is $200, which equates to about 170 quid. Now, is that a good buy? Yeah, I think so. I mean, 200 quid, you would find it hard to find a nice enough crafted watch for 200 quid. This one has such unique smart functionality. It makes that an incredible buy, in my opinion. Now, yes, it's not all skipping through the daisies. It does have its issues. Okay, the app isn't as good as I'd like, and it doesn't have a do not disturb function. But as far as it goes, this is, and here it is, the best hybrid smartwatch I've tried. It's connected very, very well to my iPhone and works seamlessly all of the time. And it looks incredible. So do I recommend one of these? Absolutely. And if you want to check them out yourself, I will leave a link in the description below so you can have a look. But without a doubt, if you're looking for a nice hybrid smartwatch, in my opinion, at this moment in time, this is the best one I've tried so far. And that concludes today's review. Guys, if you liked today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you back for another episode of Stu's Reviews soon. I'll put this on actually. It's very comfortable as well, despite it being so big. See you later. Before you go, consider supporting me on my Patreon page by clicking here. It'll give you some great discounts on stuff I've reviewed and helps me to continue doing reviews. If you want to see some fun stuff, click here to see the highlights of Stu's Reviews. And, as a friendly reminder, click this button to subscribe.